Good morning, good morning, good morning, and thank you. And we've made it to Thursday. Some people are off tomorrow because that's Veterans Day. That would be us. I'm in a parade tomorrow morning in the city of Colton, California. It begins at 9:15. So if you're anywhere near Colton, California, and you want to come out for the parade, you might be able to Google that and find out exactly what street that's going down because I don't know. But great opportunity to come out and network out in the city of Colton tomorrow, celebrate the veterans. And if there are any veterans out there, I know tomorrow you are going to find the food spots. And maybe tomorrow morning we might be able to have a list of them so that you can know where to go and where to chow down and people that might appreciate you being a veteran. My name is Rich Wallace, and this is an episode of Strictly Business on EdgeTVNetwork.net. We are here on 3 mornings a week, on Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and Saturday and Friday morning at 7 a.m. We are part of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, a networking organization that networks from the desert to the sea. That's our quick spot about who we are and what we do. And I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to come out and be with us this morning. We have a guest. So if you have some money put away and some money that you need to put away or some money that you just need somebody to help guide you along, I've got a financial planner coming up to talk to you about how to invest, place, don't know if he's into crypto or not, or some of the other financial liens and that kind of thing, but we'll find out about that. Thank you so much for being a part of here at Strictly Business this Thursday morning in Southern California. It's a little chilly. If you're in Washington, D.C., I think it's a little bit more chilly. So depending on where you are in the country, we will be warming up, but wherever you are, you're inside. So that's all good. My name is Rich Wallace. This is Strictly Business. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we will be back with our guests to talk to you about financial planning.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
And our basic fundamental membership for small businesses is $200 a year. You can go to our website, as the commercial just said, at blackchamberofcommerce.org. Now I want to bring our guest on this morning, Mr. Nick Arthur, which is a financial planner. And a lot of times in talking to financial planners, I've had the experience about they've transitioned from the insurance business to the planning business to the finance business. I had a Series 7 license at one time when I was younger, and these kinds of things. So if you want to really be able to figure out how to put your money back and how to do certain things, then you need to listen to Mr. Nick. Hey, Nick, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Rich? I'm doing all good. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us this morning on this early morning. So kind of tell a little people how you got into financial planning and exactly which part of their finances do you plan, or is it the whole thing?
Okay, so no, big story. I do a little bit of the whole thing. So comprehensive, right? Offensive and defensive, right? Making money, growing money, and making sure that we keep money in our pockets when life hits us. I got into this field kind of in a way on accident, right? I never saw myself doing finance, but I always was interested in finance and growing money and learning how to make money on my own. I've always had that kind of business mindset of owning my own business. So, throughout life and, meeting new people and building connections and finding out, what do I love to do and what do I appreciate, doing for others, I kind of found into the role of a financial advisor, right? Because I had some background. My mom, she worked at J.P. Morgan Chase. My dad, worked at Downstate Medical. So I always had that corporate lifestyle around me. So kind of finance kind of just fell into things I was doing on the day to day, helping people with the money, figuring out how can I make money off my phone. So and eventually that kind of led me into the role of a financial planner.
Okay, now what were you doing before you were financial planner?
So my entire life was dedicated just to sports. Basketball was my lifeblood. I played a little stint overseas for a bit. So that was really my focal point of what can I do, because growing up that's what I've seen on TV. So I was like, okay, if I see it, I can do that.
Okay. And so then you got into financial planning, and from there now, as a financial planner,
Mhm.
you come into a household situation and you tell people how to budget their money, or is it long-term financial? Because
Mhm.
I don't want to assume, and sometimes I get into trouble. We assume that everybody knows what a financial planner is,
Mhm.
and that's just an assumption because some people don't know. Are you gonna
Mhm.
do my budget? You're gonna ask me how much my rent is.
Mhm.
Which part of because a lot of young people today, and I want to say even older people that did not have the experience in knowing what a checking account or how to balance a checking account.
Mhm.
Now you got a debit card or an ATM card, and if you don't know how to manage that card well, at the end of the day you're out of money and you don't know what happened. Or it's kind of like
Mhm.
carrying cash around. You ever start out
Yeah.
with $100 of cash
Mhm.
in your
Mhm.
pocket, when you get back home, you're like, man, what happened
Where'd
to
it
that
go?
money?
Yeah.
So is that the part of the planning that you do to kind of help us focus on how to manage or spend the money?
Yeah. So really, it is a case by case basis, right? We work with all types of incomes, all types of people with investor savviness, or with someone who's speaking with us who just wants basic education or finance 101. We get into the basics, how to budget your money, good saving tactics, right? Well, our job in that situation would be to help them get out their own way when it comes to savings, because we really have that emotional tie to our money, right? We treat our money like it's a son or daughter sometimes, when really it's just an object, right? I see money as something that should have a job. All of my dollars have a job description, right? My money works for me. My money is my employee. So once we shift our mindset towards, okay, my money is not a reflection of who I am, but my money should be working for me, right? That mindset shift helps those type of clients get to where they need to go with consistently saving and building those good habits, right? If we meet with somebody who is a little bit more experienced in the finance world, then the conversation changes. Usually we get into the nitty gritty, like taxes, how we want retirement to look when we're balancing different retirement accounts, and kind of putting that big picture and working backwards. Right, this is our overall goal, right? Okay, how do we hit that? What are some steps we can do now so that we know when we get to that point, we're good, right? And everything in between.
Okay, yeah. Now I know I used to own some restaurant stores, and as the owner, I treated myself like an employee.
Mm-hmm.
I paid myself. I sold insurance to Mutual of Omaha when I was younger for a lot of years, and I would take my commission check, and I would also put back if I was a tither, so let's say, and I would put back that 10% that for myself as well as, and then put that out. That was how I learned to save, basically from the biblical principle of
Mm-hmm.
tithing is how I learned how to save.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, I learned about 401ks and these different types of things, but I've seen those things go south. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
being around for a long time, the safety of a 401k or a retirement plan is not always safe. So, how does a person in today's market put their money back, or yeah, that's the first question is
Mm-hmm.
how does a person in today's market put their money back to be able to, excuse me,
Bless you.
to save what they need to save? So do you have plans for that?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? And especially with now with the market, things are ugly. But if your mindset is, hey, things are on sale right now, then that changes how you see the market, right? If we were to think long term of the fluctuation of a market, right? The stock market is basically like an elevator, and you're playing with a yo-yo, right? A lot of volatility, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things you see in the news. Oh my gosh, we're down 40%, 50%. Things are going crazy. That's the yo-yo. Take a step back, you see the escalator. We're going up, right? If you invested your money in in the S&P 500 for a year, you have about a 75% chance of netting a positive return. Let it sit for 5 years, right? That goes up into 85%. Right? Let it sit for 10 years, you have about 90 to 95% chance of positive return. You let it sit for 13 years or more or less it's 100% chance of return. That's just on historical data of the market. Right? So knowing that, we're able to guide our clients on historical data, things that we can prove with numbers, right? Because numbers don't lie. Right? So that's how we like to plan when we look towards long term. Things like a 401k, right? The 401ks are great if the company's matching. That's free money, right? If you don't want it, I'll take it. I'll take some free money, right? Now with a 401k, it does make sense to know what your money's being invested in because it's your money. A lot of times with a 401k, we're just putting money into it and we're going on with our day, going to work day to day. We're not looking behind the scenes to see how's my money being allocated. So sometimes we may think, hey, we may want to put that money into an IRA, right? Roll it over or something like that, just so we can have our hands on and be actively managing that, right? So we know what's going on. You have to rebalance. Maybe international funds are not doing too great. Maybe the market's kind of down, but interest rates are up, right? So we want to be able to change that and rebalance when we can, right? So when we're thinking about long term, we just find whatever fits the client, right? Some clients we have are really risky. They want to shoot to the moon and try for the best. And some clients are like, hey, I know my money can be in a market that's volatile. I want to be conservative and have moderate returns. And we have historical data to back that up. Right?
Well, Nick, as an entrepreneur, and I got the long-term plan. I'm listening, and it's fantastic. But as an entrepreneur, it's a day-by-day process. I mean, if I got a job, and I'm going to work and I get it every Friday or every other Friday, I can put some money back in 401k. I can do this, I can do that, because I can plan better because I got a job. But I'm an entrepreneur. Most of our members are, for lack of a better term, out here hustling on a day-to-day basis.
Of course.
So I need to know what I can do. What can you do for me before December? I got to figure this thing out because I need a savings, but I need to be able to buy some widgets, and I need to be able to do this. And I got a wife that comes home with a bag every day, or what is it? Who Amazon shows up at my door every other day, So how do we get past some of those things? I'm gonna give you a minute to think about it because we're gonna take a short commercial break here because I gotta sell some space. And thank you for signing up on our calendar, and that's what we're talking about. But I want to ask you about immediate. I got the savings plan, but take another sip of coffee and let's figure out how we're gonna do something tomorrow.
Business owners are raving about the new talk show, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Tune in as the top experts in business share their success stories, strategies, guidance, and advice to help you grow your business. With guests from the top companies to your favorite influencers, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace is the show to watch for all things business. Our conversations are strictly business. We discuss new funding options, new business initiatives, best business practices, all things business explained. We provide you with the tips you need for your business, all in one morning business talk show. Be sure to tune in. Are you a business owner? Do you have a story to share? Are you able to help our audience? Then we want you on Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Visit the website at edgetvnetwork.net and select Be a Guest to schedule your appearance today.
All right. If you want to be on the show, that's what you got to do. You got to go online and go to Strictly Business, go to Edge TV Network and sign up. So now we've got Nick Arthur here in our room here, and he's telling us how to save money long term. I'm a little over 70, so I ain't got long term. I need a kickback here in a few months or next year. What is my best possible thing that I could do or anyone could do on a short-term basis?
Right. So that's a great question. So as an entrepreneur, right, it's a day-to-day grind. Right. A lot of times the money's not there. A lot of times there's too much money there. Right. So a lot of fluctuations on what we're doing when we have that income. So it all ties back to what are our goals. Right. Are we thinking long term, we're thinking short term. What do you want to do in those long term? What do you want to do in that short term? Right. If we're looking to just generate income, right, then we're finding different income streams. Right. My job as a financial planner is to get you out of your way and make sure you never go broke, right? Your job as a worker is to make sure that you're having income coming in, right? Now, things can happen in the world that can make sure you're not receiving any income, like, getting hurt, sick, or injured, right? That's why we have disability insurance to cover that, right? They can, say midterm or long term, you may have an investment account, you may have, whole life insurance, you may have a VUL. That'll be good for real estate. But if we're thinking for now, there's no safe asset or anything that's not speculative that would make you, rich within a year, unless you get into crypto. So if you're thinking, hey, I need money within this year, well, go to work and do what you've been doing. That's to make you money for the year. Now, with growing that money, and that's where I come in, right? Your job is to place that pool of money. Hey, I have the savings account. If you're an entrepreneur, it should be 9 months. Realistically, for most people, 6 months. If you're an entrepreneur, your money is fluctuating because you need that safety net. So as you're building your practice, as you're going in your career, right, I like to see a balance between you shooting for the moon and also having that backup. Right? You need to have the Ferrari to get you where you need to go for the fun, but also you need that Honda Civic to get you the A to B consistently. So whatever happens, I'm good. And as an entrepreneur, you need that peace of mind. It's a grind. Like some days you wake up, you're like, I don't want to do this today. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But you still got to get to it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to get to it knowing that whatever happens, whatever life hits me on my ass and I fall. I mean, I'd rather fall on a bunch of cushions than to fall on concrete. Like, give me the Tempur-Pedic. I'll take that. Right. So when it comes to, short-term investing and thinking short-term, yeah, you could, dump a bunch of money into a VUL. You could dump a bunch of money into a high risk, high reward, equity stock, right? That's an option. But unless you're, taking the day to day to do what you need to do, whether it's real estate, whether it's, doing your own business, you still need to do the work. And that comes with, your own effort.
And I think one of the things that you just said was you still got to do the work, which is really important. You ran by crypto. Are you involved in crypto? Do you make suggestions? And I tried the crypto for about 5 or 6 months, but I did not have the patience or the time to check crypto, or I did have the time. I just did not check it on a day-to-day basis. Or on an hour basis, and it was just fluctuating like crazy, I put a few $100 over there, with the expectation that I'm gonna have a few thousand in a couple of hours. That didn't happen. So I put a few more hundred in there because they said, oh, it's down, buy some more, da 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 da. So I did that, and I wind up when I decided that wasn't for me. And when I wind up taking it out, I think I put over a couple $1,000 aside to do that. And at the end of the day, I think I had about $800 or $900 left. I'm like, I could have went to the movies with that or something. And that's as an entrepreneur, they're always looking. I don't want to call them shortcuts, but easier routes to hurry up and try to keep that cash flow, because cash flow is so important. Down as a financial planner, do you create any type of what they call them not cash flow? You go to the bank and you get an advance on certain things so that you can help. Do you do any loans or grants or anything like that to bring money in, or are you basically to help me put the money that I bring in to the side?
Yeah, so that was definitely option number 2. I help you make the money, and I help you allocate it. Like same as a financial doctor, same idea. You come to me, hey, I need help. I need to figure out, I want to buy this house. I need to know how to budget so I can purchase this house and not be in debt. Okay, just go to a financial doctor. Like same as you go to a physical trainer. Like, hey, I want to, get my biceps bigger. What should I do? right? I'm not here to give you steroids to make sure things happen in the flip, right? That's not realistic. And when it comes to crypto, that's not federally regulated yet. Unfortunately, at some point I do see them, putting some rules in place depending on how Congress goes and laws and all that stuff. That's political, right? So as of now, it's not regulated, and it makes sense because what you see now in the market, I would not feel confident telling most of my clients, hey, put some money into crypto, and you lose it all. I'm like, well, I'm not a good advisor at that point, right? My job is to make sure you keep money in your pocket and you grow that money, right? Whether it's into investments, whether it's do insurance, right? You need to be able to be on the upstream, right? I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it did. I had a young lady, Miss Williams. She's going to be one of our co-hosts, and she's very much into crypto. And she brought me along and gave me, basically held my hand to the door and let me go at the door. But it is a process that, what you said earlier, you have to work it. You have to work at it. You have to know what you're doing, and you learn as you move along. That space was not necessarily for me because I was looking for the quick action. Now with the new medical or legalizing of marijuana or hemp products, a lot of small business are believing that they can get into these type of products to be able to, because it's about fast money. That's what everybody's looking for.
Always.
Everybody's looking for that quick deal. This is the deal that's going to make it. This is the right 6 numbers. By the way, if that $1 billion listeners out there, give me a call. So everybody's kind of trying to figure out their way and not really putting that money aside in that plan. I know when I was younger, and we used to do we would sell insurance, and then we would attach an annuity. Annuities were big then. Flexible premium annuities. You could buy $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000 worth of term and attach an annuity to it. And if you wait 10, 20 years, you'd have all of this money coming in, but it's going to cost you $125 a month. Usually, when people get in a crunch, that's the thing they get rid of.
Exactly.
With a business person, they get rid of the advertising dollars and they get rid of that in long-term investment plan. And as a financial planner, I'm pretty sure you see the ups and downs of, this is a great customer. They were dropping in $500 a month in this plan, and then something happened at home. The swimming pool got a hole in it, and all of a sudden, the plan got put on hold. So now, is there something that as a financial planner that I have a window of accidents that I can stop it and then come back in 9 months or a year, and now I'm doing better and I can jump back in on the same plan I had? Is there anything like that, or is it you got to start over?
So the way that we plan, right, it's pretty much a 3-step process, but it's ongoing, right? When we meet with a client, it's not transactional, right? That's not how I run my business, not how our office runs our business. We meet with them pretty much at least quarterly, sometimes semi-annually, sometimes annually. Depends on how much hand holding they may need and what's the situation, right? So when we give these plans, these recommendations, they're put in place to help you understand that when things happen, like, oh, my water heater went out or my pool, right? We plan for this. We plan for life's unexpected events, right? That's part of falling on that cushion, because life is going to hit us with a couple of jabs, a couple of hooks. That's just life. Right? We can't avoid them all the time. It's just, how hard do we want to fall? So when it goes back to savings account, right? It's not pretty, it's not sexy. You don't like savings, and the savings account kind of just sits there. But when things hit the fan, you're gonna be happy you have that money sitting there.
Yeah.
Right? When your car tire, pops, you got to buy a new tire. You don't want to use a credit card, right? You don't have to borrow that type of money. You need that money to come in a snap and go to your bank. Okay, withdraw that. That settles any issues that goes to funding your plan, right? So you can still have some money to invest. You can still put some money away for your kids' college, right? You can still do the things you need to do, right? On top of, a lot of jobs offer disability insurance, right? It's usually not enough, usually around 60%, 50% on top of the tax, because it's ordinary income tax, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I couldn't live on 60% of what I'm making, right? I could probably pay my bills, but I can't fund my future lifestyle. So we need to protect the rest of that money, right? So that, I mean, you get sick, hurt, sick or injured, physical, you get, Lyme disease, whatever it is, you're still receiving an income. You can still do what you need to do and still plan for it. So everything seems to move smoothly. And that's important when we think about the power of compounding, right? So kind of on a tangent, but I spoke yesterday to another entrepreneur in this space doing great work, and he gave this example of, if you were to, what was it, place a droplet of water and double it every minute into the Fenway Stadium. He asked me, how long do you think it would take for the entire stadium to be filled with water? What was your guess? What would you think?
I'd say maybe 100 years.
Years? It was 50 minutes.
Oh, really?
Right, 50 minutes. One drop and you double it every minute. So
Oh, okay.
2 minutes, double it again, 3 minutes, double it, right? It takes 50 minutes to do that. That's the power of compounding.
Okay.
And it's kind of exponential because after 45 minutes or 40 minutes about, it's only up to 5 feet of water. But after that, compound interest takes it all. So I say that to go back to, if we can have that foundation set and things are moving for us no matter what happens, then we're taking advantage of and we're leveraging our capital we have now and also time. Because as we know, time is invaluable.
Yeah.
Right? If you were to fast forward, 50 years into the future, but you had, double the money you had now, you wouldn't really take that because you take the time over that.
Yeah.
Right? So if we can leverage time and leverage our income against time, then we're going to be in a better position than we even thought we would be.
Okay. Now, okay. I have one of our board members, Dr. Evelyn Anderson, and she's asked, do you do, and which is a really interesting question because I'm trying to figure out a will and these type of things. And she's asking, you do estate planning and like a living trust. So, and if you do or not, if you know what those are, can you explain the difference between estate planning and what a living trust is?
Yeah, so there's two types of trust, and I'm not the expert. I have a lot of specialists on my team who just deal with estate planning and trust. So that's someone I would definitely refer them to. But there's two types of trust. There's a irrevocable trust and revocable trust. Revocable just means you could make alterations while you're still alive, change some things, pull some things out. Irrevocable means, hey, it is what it is. It's going to stay like that, right? So that's different options when it comes to trust. A lot of times when people have beneficiaries for their life insurance, we do help them open up a trust so that they're able to give that money to someone under the age of 18, so a minor, right? Because with life insurance policy, you can't give that money to a minor. It's just not in the rules. So we designate a trustee to then have that money given to the trust, to the beneficiary. Right, so that's the area we work. With estate planning, we do talk to a lot of our older advisors with estate planning, passing on our legacy now. Estate taxes. So a lot of our high income earning clients don't want to deal with estate taxes. We pay enough money to the government. Why do they need more? So we get into, all right, what's some things we can use? Can we leverage our life insurance policy to pay off our debts, or just use a 401k, deplete that, we'll pay the taxes on us and leave tax-free income for our next of kin. So yeah, I'll love to talk to her and connect her with somebody and see what's possible, see if we can help with that.
Okay, and that's living trusts or estate planning. Is that an insurance product or is that a lawyer thing?
Yeah, so a little bit of both, right? We help figure out what goes into it, and then the lawyer figures out how it's all tied together when it comes to taxes and laws. Right?
Okay, and that sounds like an expensive process. So once again, I want to always go back to the entrepreneur that's day to day, week to week, month to month, struggling unless they hit the big thing and they got a flow of customers. But even if they have a flow of customers, that means they have a flow of employees. So he's just really recycling that money a whole lot. I would tell people all the time when I had my restaurants, we were doing $1 million a month in business, but it was costing me $1.010 million. So I did not have the flexibility, because basically the money would come in this hand and it would go
Hmm.
out in this hand
Yeah,
over here. There's a lot of money and it looked like a lot of money, but at the same time, there were a lot of bills. You got 6 or 7 restaurants and the rent's $5,000 a month a piece. The food cost is an average $8,000 to $9,000. So, and you can't
mhm,
raise the price of your chicken
yeah,
because people would notice. They go,
yeah,
oh, that chicken went up 3 pennies.
yeah.
What
They count in the sense.
know? So you have to try to figure these out as an entrepreneur. And because a lot of entrepreneurs go home and leave this place, leave this earth, and leave their earthly body, and they have all of these different pieces of businesses,
Mhm,
and a lot of family members can't put them together. I just had one of my gentlemen from our theater out in Ontario pass, and there was a school, a theater, a production thing, $1 million loan, and this and that.
mhm,
He just didn't wake up the next day. Didn't have
mhm,
COVID, didn't have this, didn't have that. In fact, I talked to him on that Saturday, and he didn't come to work that Monday. And I'm like, "Where is this guy at?" And they said, "Oh, he passed last night." Passed of what? Oh my God, And all of these different things came about. So we didn't know, and they just boom shut it down because no
mhm,
one knew what to do. No one had the thing in his head, and we have a little plan to the side, but at a lot of times we didn't really know what to do. So
mhm.
a living trust would have helped, or financial or estate planning would have helped. And I have another question here. Says, "It's a great time. Is this a great time to buy stock because it's down?" Uh, and uh, I bought stock when it was up or down or what have you. Is
Mhm.
this a good time to actually buy stock? I don't know. I know it's down, but what does that mean? Is it going to go up? Are we in a recession? Because the White House says we're not in a recession. The Blue
Mhm.
House says we are in a recession, and my house says we just bought.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Of course, right now it seems like we're on Black Friday sale. Now it depends on what deals you want to pick up. Do you usually? So when we're thinking, all right, my your goal may be different to somebody else's. You may be more conservative, someone may be more risky, or vice versa. So it does make sense to start buying those stocks that align with your, risk or tolerance, right? But things are all on sale. Things are, 20, 30% off. So if you're going to buy, it makes sense to buy now. But be wary that it's never a good idea to try to time the market. It's better to be time in the market. The reason that I said, staying in the S&P for 1 year is around 7% net of return, 5 years, 80%. So for that reason, if you just buy the correct stock, the correct, mutual fund that aligns with what you have, what you want to do, and has a good historical background, buy it up and sit down and stay put. Right? When another recession happens, that happen every 6 to 7 years, right? You know that, hey, I'm in a good company, like Warren Buffett says, right? He doesn't buy stocks, he buys companies. So companies are on sale. What companies do you like? What companies are aligned with your rate of return that you want to see, right? So that's something that you should be wary of. Talk to a financial advisor. Find a couple that you can trust, that you like to talk to. With a lot of financial advisors, they create plans, and an ideal financial plan goes in the market for around two to $5,000 per plan. Right? We're non-fee based planners, so we don't charge for those plans or consultations. Right? So sitting down with us and kind of figuring out, all right, what makes sense for me, my situation, and then acting on those principles, those recommendations may help you, understand the market a little better and put you in position to feel like, hey, I'm actually getting this on sale. I don't feel like I'm buying this at its highest. Even though that wouldn't really matter because we're thinking long term usually.
Okay, so and she says thank you. If and my thing is that okay, and I don't know, I can't remember what Martha Stewart went to jail for, but
Hmm.
is it because someone referred some stock to me, or is there a place? I mean, I'm a new investor and I got a couple $1,000 and I want to buy some stock. Do I buy General Motors or Southern California Edison or Bubba's Fried Chicken? So is there and I guess there's no guarantee with any of it, but is there a more place to, is there a safer place to buy? Because what they say, what's his name that bought Twitter, laid off a whole bunch of people, and I was looking at buying some Twitter stuff. Now it's down. I don't know if it's coming back up. And then the Metaverse, Facebook people turned around. He laid off a whole bunch of people. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a whole lot of people out of work right now. But there's jobs, those jobs are at Popeyes and other places. So, and what does you say? The S&P. So is there a form that a new beginner, a person that just got his insurance policy, I got $5,000, and veterans are getting, a little bit of some, and they're looking to do what with the money. And you mentioned something about companies for sale. Is this window of almost recession a good time to buy a business?
Okay, so there's a lot of questions there. I'm trying to knock off everyone. So with Martha Stewart, I believe she went to jail for insider trading, and that's basically if you have some knowledge that's non-public and you release that to the public, like say I found out that Elon Musk was doing something shady with behind the scenes of Twitter, and I found out about it first internally. And I had knowledge and I acted on that. So I traded. Like say Elon had Elon found out that Twitter was, going bankrupt, but no one knew about it. But only I knew. Like he told me put me on the shoulder, hey, Twitter's going to go bankrupt next year. If I found out, okay, boom, and I sold Twitter or put Twitter puts in, then I'll go to jail for or be fined for insider trading. If I told you, Rich, and I did nothing, and then you traded on it, you would go to jail and I would go to jail at the same time, or we would both get fined. Like, because I would be the tipper, you would be the tippee. So anyone connected to, they're all liable, right? So all pretty much accomplices. So and a lot of times people sit to us and ask us, so when it comes to what companies do I buy, whatever it is, there's a lot of companies. Right? In the S&P 500, there's 505 companies within that one index fund. Taking time to look through every company's balance sheet and go through that shouldn't be your job as a client. Your job would be to go to work and make sure you're still investing. Our job would to be, all right, figuring out which supplements, when it comes to vitamins and personal training, which supplements are good for you and put it into a package. Right. So if we're thinking about, hey, there's a lot of different stocks, I don't know what to be in, what companies to buy. Okay, well, diversification works. Mutual funds, index funds, get a whole bunch of stocks, put them all together in one basket, and we use that as our portfolio. Because there's different types of funds and sectors. Some are cyclical, like tech. When the recessions are great, recessions are not happening, or the market's doing well, or on the upstream, tech goes up. Right? So you saw that a couple of years ago, 2020, tech was doing pretty well after the dip, because we were on somewhat of a bull market run. When we see a recession, no one's really buying appliances as much. So people will lay off buying that. But people are still buying food. We still got to eat. We still need medicine. And we still got to, do day-to-day things like drive cars and stuff like that. So those types of funds, they don't really move too much because it's consistent. But it's consistent, so it doesn't, do too much. So that's something we can use as a way to balance ourselves. Now, if we want to shoot towards the moon, we'll look at tech stocks maybe. Right, or small cap or growth stocks, because they have a lot to prove and they need to use a lot of their capital for their company. But when things hit the fan and people aren't shopping, they're not really buying phones as much. Like people aren't shopping and buying new PS5s when they're trying to figure out the next job or where they're getting the next paycheck. So those companies are going to lose money. Right. So just knowing which ones you want to lean towards and having that balance of your assets, which is one of the reasons why having an IRA is helpful, because you could actually do that. You have your advisor do that for you.
You say you have an IRA?
Yeah, so an IRA is an individual retirement account, right? And there's two types: traditional and a Roth. Traditional is tax deferred, so basically you just pay taxes when you take that money back out at 59 and a half. Roth is the opposite, right? You pay money that's already been taxed, so when you get that direct deposit and the government took out too much money, that money you put into a Roth, and that money grows at 59 and a half. Then you take that money back out for retirement, and it's tax free.
Now, you mentioned tax-free. I have an IRS agent friend of mine. She said there's no such thing as tax-free money. You must pay taxes if that money is counted as income or advanced or whatever. If you get that money and it's not disability money and it's not that kind, you at somewhere along the line you have to pay tax on it. Is there in the financial planning understanding? And I've had financial planners tell me before, "Oh, this is going to be tax free. This is going to be tax free." When I go over here to the IRS and I say, "Hey, I'm going to buy this," and they say it's tax free, and she tells me just one simple line: "Rich, there's no such thing as tax free money. We know about it. We're taxing it." So, and you mentioned tax free. Is that a thing? Is that going to get me locked up like Apple phone? Because I said, "Hey, Nick told me it was tax free." That's what Wesley Snipes had. It's tax.
Not Wesley. Great question. So with tax free, with the Roth, right? So the government wants some money, right? They're going to get their money one way or another, right? So with a tax deferred account, they wait until your garden that you've been planting, your seeds you put in when you're working years, you get those fruits of your labor. Those fruits go into a big, beautiful garden. When you're 59 and a half, let's just call it 60, right? You have a nice harvest. The government's rubbing their hands like, "Oh, you have a nice garden. Time for me to get my fruits," right? Then they tax you because they haven't been taxed yet. With a Roth, right? The government sees your check. They tax your check. You say, "Hey, this is too much taxing." That's what they do. Take that money you have. It's already been taxed. The government already got their cut. But it's only a seed. And that seed then grows because you put it into an investment account, an IRA. Then it grows. Take that money back out. The government says, "So we already taxed that money. You're good to go." The way I see it is like a traditional IRA or even a traditional 401k. That's like going to a restaurant. You're going for free, right? You sit down, eat too much food, get dessert, then you get a bill at the end. Then you can leave. With a Roth, that's more like going to the club. Right? You kind of pay an entrance fee in a way because your money's been taxed, direct deposit, net income. Then you go have as much fun as you want, and you leave as tax-free. Another option is using whole life insurance. And that's also tax-free. Right?
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of our clients use the cash value and the whole life policy to, for real estate investments or just retirement income. That money is tax-free. Now, there's all caveats. So if you overfund a whole life policy, then that policy can become a taxable event. Most clients don't get to that point. We like to find, that sweet spot that we can overfund a policy that doesn't get us into that tax liability. But overall, if you use it as a, doing and through our whole life policy, and that money is tax-free through withdrawals or simple, collateralizing the cash value.
Okay. So there are some possibilities there. We're going to take a quick coffee break here, and we will be right back. So don't leave hanging here. Nick has some more information to help you save your money and be able to be rich later.
Are you ready to change your life? Let us help you. At Youth Build Charter School, you can get a high school diploma and kickstart your dream career in no time. We offer high school diploma programs in construction, CNA, military, college, and entrepreneurship. If you are between the age of 16 and 24 and you want to manage your studies with a job, recover your credits, or graduate early, we can help you achieve your dream. Call us at 1-888-395-4408 or visit youthbuildinlandempire.org. Good news for the Southern California business community. Now you can add your business to the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce Business Directory free. We've been working tirelessly to build a list of Black-owned enterprises in Southern California. This is an excellent way for you to be a part of an expansive network. and find your ideal customers, business partners, and vendors. So don't waste time. Visit blackchamberofcommerce.org today and add your business today.
And we're back once again. If you take a minute and go to our website at blackchamberofcommerce.org, you can add your business in the business directory. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to pay that $200 membership fee that allows you to be able to access people like Nick. So once again, we're back here on edgetvnetwork.net and a part of Strictly Business morning show from 7 to 8 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning. And Nick has been telling us how we can get funding, how we can save money, how we can retire and really retire. Because you see old people standing in the store saying, "Welcome to Walmart." They can't retire because Southern California Edison is not retiring. The gas company is not retiring. And if you have a gas car, they're telling us today that they're going to take it away and give us an electric car because we need an electric car, but they say wash your dishes at night because we don't have enough electricity. I'm not getting that. So is an investment into utilities a good thing coming up in this new time frame?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And then I would answer saying it is a case by case basis depending on who we're talking to, right? With utilities, that's not crazy capital appreciation, right? You're not going to get rich off buying utility stocks. If you're thinking, hey, now's a kind of crazy, shaky, volatility in the market, I want to be conservative, then maybe looking towards utility stocks may be a good idea. Now they also offer some income, so like dividends. So that may be also suitable for some people who are looking for that. So mostly utility stocks are mostly used for income purposes, dividends, not really used for capital growth or appreciation.
Okay. All right. So now, as I understand my plan, and I'm looking at buying one now. You convince me that I need a financial planner. But like you say, it's on an individual basis. So you come in, you go through, you see what I'm spending.
Mhm.
And are you going to tell me or try to figure out a way that I can stop these Amazon boxes? Because my wife is retired. She's sitting here on a computer all day long and, ooh, we need that. And these boxes are coming in and you don't even see the boxes coming in until you see the new stuff in the closet. What do you do? What does a family do to actually come up with or do you sit down with the husband and wife and come up with a plan that they could put $20 away and show them that that I went to dinner yesterday and there was four of us and we spent $260 for the four and two kids, $260 plus tip, almost $300 to have dinner. And I still had to come home and make me something to eat. So what do you talk about those kinds of incidents on how to save money, how to put money back? Because everyone knows what you're saying is the truth. I mean, I don't think there's one person out there. I get a lot of times, oh, well, black people don't get that. No. Black people know. We're not crazy. We know. We just don't have the ability to be able to self-discipline ourselves to do that. Is there some type of training that you guys do as a financial planner? Because when you give me all of this, you sit at my table and you tell me all of this and it's great, and you leave and I go online and buy a weight machine. It costs me $400. Or join a gym that's $700 and I'm gonna go to one time. So do you actually sit there and help people strategize how the individual person can put money aside so that they can grow?
Yeah. So good question there. Usually when I do buy groceries, I always bring food home with it because I'm too tired after walking around all those aisles. It just makes sense, right? And when it comes to building those habits, I'm guessing, of saving and stuff like that, right? And we don't work with everybody, and that's fine, right? We work with people with their hands up. If your hands are crossed or your hands are down, we're going to try our best. I'm going to try my best to help educate you and tell you what you need to do or what you could do. Now, at that point, it's up to you, Because this is your life, it is your money. I can't force you to do something you don't want to do. But if your hand is up, then I'd love to sit down with you and speak with you and work with you. Like same if you had a personal trainer. Hey, I want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to be like Terry Crews, all buffed up. But you're coming to the workouts with McDonald's on your hand. It's like, okay, are we going to align our goals with what we're doing now with our habits? Because if we're not, then I can't really work with you. But if we are, okay, we can work towards making those good habits. So I had one of my clients. He wanted to figure out. I think he wanted to buy a new car. His car was fine. He works remote. I was like, why do you want to buy a new car? He's like, I just want a new car. I was like, okay, fine. So he wanted to look at the car payments for buying a new car. Now, he makes good money. Right? His income is, he could have done it. So I just said to him, right, so this happened a couple months ago, like early September. I said to him, hey, let's practice. What would your car payments be? He said around $300 a month. I said, okay, $300 a month. Start right now. Don't buy the car. Start right now putting away $300 a month into an account. So it's a regular savings account. Just put it in there. Just leave it at zero, then start doing it. That's your car account.
Mm-hmm.
Put that money away for, from now up until the end of the year. See how you feel. If you can do that for 6 months or 4 months or 5 months and you feel comfortable doing that, maybe you're ready to buy a car. If you do it halfway through and you're like, hey, this doesn't really, I don't like doing this, then you stop. And that's a win-win scenario because one, you learn, hey, I can actually afford this car, or two, I can't afford this car. Two, either way, you still have a pool of money you can use for either, hey, I don't feel comfortable buying this new car, but then I have, $2,000, $3,000 in this account. Or you may feel like, hey, I can actually buy this car. And I have $3,000 saved up for a down payment, right? So by building those habits, one changes your mindset towards saving because saving should be you paying yourself. You went to work. You're an entrepreneur. You spent those hard hours, late nights making that money. Who deserves that money more than yourself?
I think that is absolutely great. I think if you start making the car payment before you get the car, I like that idea because I'm thinking about a new car. I don't need a new car, but I got friends with new cars. I pull up in my 1990 something. They go, if my car runs good,
it runs good. A to B.
It has the smog, it gets me from the desert to the sea, which I travel on a consistent basis with the Black Chamber of Commerce. But I want that 740 so bad I could taste it. Every time I see one, I just start salivating. And I'm thinking, okay, I really want that car. Anita says that car is a bad investment. Don't do it. So, but and it's a want thing.
Yeah.
And when you have that want desire for certain things, it's not, you don't look at the investment part, you look at the shiny part. It's shiny, it looks good, and I would look good in it, So I'm this close. I saw one online the other day and I started, and that's one thing about this internet. You can't even suggest that you might want something because they're going to tell everybody.
Everything.
And it's like, man, I just kind of looked at the car for just a second, and all of a sudden I got all of these different things. And Anita says, black people's. Yeah. White people want new cars too. Come on, Anita.
Yeah.
But, it is a want thing. And it's like a new suit. If you got suits in your closet, you really don't need a new suit, but you need a new suit.
See one, you might like it,
Yeah, you might like it, and we got one life to live, and you need to live it in an environment that you're so comfortable that you like it. So, and Anita says, change your mindset. So I've changed my mindset on so many things to get to where I am. But I still feel that new car smell is around me.
Inhaling it.
It's in me, and it's like, okay. And the reason I don't is because what you said earlier. I hate car payments, and I think it would be crazy to walk in there and say, "Here's $50,000. Give me this car." So you got to do payments, or you're making a real bad investment if you're dropping $50,000 cash.
Hmm.
When you could multiply that money as and Anita says, if you can pay cash, buy the car. And I don't think that's a good idea to drop that kind of cash. But then you don't have the payments in the long term situation, or the tow truck looking for you. So
Yeah, right.
so as we get ready to wrap up here, I want you to kind of give people a little bit of how they can reach you, and basically how you can help them in the financial planning. We got about maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap this up. But I still want that new car, Nick. I got that new car smell, and I think I'm gonna do what you said. I'm gonna take that, because it's $700 a month. I'm gonna take $700 a month. I'm gonna put it in the new car pile.
Uh-huh.
See how many months I can pay that car payment without the car.
Okay.
And I may have enough to do what Anita says and pay cash for it.
Mhm.
We do, and I got to say, but we do need to get around safety and say, okay, all right. Even if your car is old, if you keep it up to date, it should be safe. It should
Right.
be able to do what you need it to do, and hopefully it passes small. Because here in California, they got a plan to help us get rid of and buy electric cars,
Mhm.
but they want you to wash your dishes at night, which doesn't
Mm.
make sense to me. But she says if you can't afford it, don't do it. So okay, all right, Nick, I'm gonna stop fighting with my people over here. They don't want me to buy a new car.
Mhm.
So what can we do? How we don't take this out, and what is the best way for people to reach Nick Arthur so they can get their financials in order?
Yeah, so a little commercial on me. I'm active on LinkedIn. You can reach me on my website, reach me directly on my phone or my email. I'm always active, like engaging with the public. I'm on Facebook too. Add me as a friend. I give some advice there, but a little on what we do. We work on comprehensive financial planning. So, like I said, that's A to Z: offensive, growing money; defensive, protecting our money, like investments, retirement planning, insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, overall strategies and budgeting. Right, work with a team of great people down in our office. Our office manages around $2 billion in AUM. We do a lot of work with community. We work with a lot of companies, helping them people understand their employee benefits. That's a small thing that we enjoy doing, and we do it for free. And I think that's important because, especially with the Black community, we love the word free. Like we're really risk averse with a lot of things, and I want us to change that. So we're more risky towards trying something new, like getting out there and not having to have that hassle of doing everything yourself, right? Backpacking everything, right? When we have a sore ankle, a sore knee, we go right to the doctor. But when something financial happens, we think we could do it ourselves. And that's where the fall kind of happens. We don't have that releasing our pride to be like, hey, I don't really know too much about this. How can I get some help? Right? And stretching a hand, like I haven't had a bad conversation, even doesn't turn into business, which is fine. I'm not in here for the money. When the money comes, I'm here because I love to help and educate. Right? That's something I could do forever. Right. So when it comes to reaching out to me, we could sit down, have a conversation, 30 minutes, an hour, and just pick my brain. If you have any major questions, I'll be there to answer them for you. And if I can answer them, that's fine. I have advisors here who've been in this industry for 30, 40 years. They got all gray hairs, gray eyebrows, to the nine, right? And they know a lot about everything because they've been here, they've been through the fluctuations, right? So just be open to guidance, be coachable, and be curious.
All right. Well, thanks, Nick, for coming on our show this morning. We appreciate you. Appreciate the information, and I appreciate you allowing us to clown around for a minute
Of
and
course.
just kind of talk about what we need to do. I think a lot of times for us as Black people, as entrepreneurs, it's necessary to keep it simple, uh,
Hmm.
and because we like simple, which is why we go out and do what we do, because it's easy. We
Hmm.
want easy things. Sometimes it gets so complicated to do certain things that it makes it hard. So that's kind of what we do.
Hmm.
Our quick short commercial: Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, bunch of Martin Luther King events coming up in January, looking to do some things at the end of the year here. Go to our website at blackchamberofcommerce.org. Consider being a member. It's only $200 a year. We've got great information. We've got great things for people to be able to do. We've got a business and merger acquisition coming up in August of next year. So It's a great time to be a part of a business and to have things done. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming on and being a part of Strictly Business. And we'll get back. Nick, are you a part of the Black Chamber of Commerce?
Not yet, not yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I had to call my secretary because I said Nick got on the show and he's not a member. No, but no. Go to our website, Nick, at blackchamberofcommerce.org. What city are you out of?
I'm in New York.
You're in New York. Oh,
Yep,
okay.
yep. Mm.
All right. That's fantastic. Y'all see, we got some folks here in Southern California and Nick all the way
Coast to coast.
coast to coast, from the desert to the sea. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Nick, for being a part of Strictly Business. And we will talk to you guys on Wednesday of next week because we're going to do the Veterans Day thing tomorrow, and we will see you later.